studio. In studio with us today, we have Evan Watts, who is the editor-in-chief for the Undergraduate Research Journal. Welcome, Evan. Thank you so much for coming.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the Research Journal here on campus.
Sure. So I'm a senior graduating in May, finally. I'm a management information systems major, and I'm minoring in finance. So business classes mostly. You can also find me at the Undergraduate Writing Center, which is now the University Writing Center. I'm a consultant there. I've been there for 2 years. And I got involved with the Undergraduate Research Journal my freshman year, pretty much by accident, not on purpose at all. I fell into it for the most part.
Really?
With a fairly technical major like MIS, I wanted to get some exposure to rhetoric and English as well. I'd enjoyed that in high school. I did the AP tests. So I got an email across my inbox one day for an editor position with the Undergraduate Research Journal, and I applied and was actually rejected from the journal when I first applied. So I asked to meet with the editor-in-chief at the time just to go over my application and see what I could improve for next year's application process, and something I said must have made sense to him because he did bring me on that year actually. And so since then I've been able to have the privilege of 6 positions within the organization, and have now landed at the editor-in-chief position and have been enjoying it ever since.
Wow. Well, tell me a little bit more about the responsibilities that those who work for the Undergraduate Research Journal have. What are they in charge of?
Sure. So the first semester of the year, so fall semester, typically involves soliciting submissions from students. So what the Undergraduate Research Journal is all about is getting the research of undergraduates done here at the University of Texas at Austin out to the world and published in a meaningful way. So the fall semester involves reaching out to professors, different courses, and advertising about this opportunity that students do have. So our editors will go around with either PowerPoint slides or just speaking to courses about the opportunities, and then we get to the spring semester and it's a lot more about editing and actually going through what we call selection weekend, where we'll go and take the best research of the group, push it through to professors for faculty review, and then ultimately sit down and talk with the editor about the recommendations that have been made by the professionals in the field and the faculty. And at that point, we'll have a peer-reviewed journal that is academically credible that we're very proud to show off.
It sounds like a great opportunity for those who are interested in academia, and from what I understand, it hasn't been here for that long, No,
it's a fairly recent addition in the broader scope of the university. We were founded in 2002, so that's about 13 years now that we've been on campus. So enough of a history to remember the Cabinet of College Councils. It's the Senate of College Councils today, but certainly nowhere near the length of time that a lot of organizations have had. So in that sense, I still think that we're a young group and we're growing, and every year continuing to get stronger in the quality of submissions that we receive, and also the tenacity and the drive of the editors that we do bring on board as well.
What has been the most rewarding thing about working on the Undergraduate Research Journal?
Gosh, the most rewarding thing. I would say the people that I get to work with. I feel like that's just a stereotypical answer, but it is very true. I really like to work with these not only brilliant editors who are very committed to what they do, but also exceptionally talented authors of these articles as well. You sit down and you read some of this research, and it humbles me. It's absolutely above my head. And that's why we bring in the faculty and we have them assess it. But it's just been an absolute pleasure to work with these students to see what they are able to produce and really what the sort of caliber of the University of Texas is. It's not something that I think a lot of students see is the actual incredible caliber of the intellect of our students, but it's something that I've certainly had the privilege and honor of being exposed to firsthand.
It sounds like you've had such a great experience working with the team at the Undergraduate Research Journal, but how is that team structured? How do people apply to get involved, and how does that process go?
Sure. So our team basically forms in the fall semester. We send out applications, and if anyone is ever interested in applying, they can apply at texasurij.com probably around September or October is generally when we'll accept applications to the journal. And at that point, they're sorted into either associate or assistant positions. So we have assistants who assist the associates in all disciplines. So economics, engineering, biology, chemistry, pretty much every discipline, because we are multidisciplinary and we'll publish the work of any field students are working in. And the students then are put on committees as well. So they'll have these primary designations of either associate or assistant editor, and then broken down further to either a finance committee, communications committee, campaigns committee, or an archive committee. And this is actually the first year we've done committees like this. It's kind of our pilot test year for those. So basically the idea with those committees is that it allows students to gain some knowledge about that aspect of the journal that may or may not necessarily be quite obvious. So I guess a good example of that is the finance committee. It's typically a challenge to receive funding every year. We have to continue to push that effort, and so if we have a finance committee that sort of is a standing fixture within the organization, we're able to pass that information on a little easier. So those are the main core editors, and they work with our executive board, which composes editor-in-chief, the managing editor, the director of communication, and two new positions this year, the director of development and the executive assistant as well.
You know, you touched a little bit on funding. How do you guys receive money to sustain this journal?
Yeah, so typically in the past we've been funded by two main offices on campus primarily. The Vice President of Student Affairs and the Vice President of Research, but we also receive money from the co-op, and we also are now accepting online donations for the first time as well. So we're very excited to now finally have external donations as well.
Yes, and people can go online to the website, right, if they'd like to make donations?
Yes, donations are on texasurj.com.
There you have it. Well, thank you so much, Evan, for joining us, and thank you for tuning in to Good Morning Texas. Keep up with our social media online. We'll have several updates coming up, and don't forget, if you pull any pranks on this April Fool's Day, to send your pictures to us at Good Morning TX. Thanks so much and have a great morning.